Welcome to lecture 6 on circuit theory. The topic was going on the nodal analysis, right? So in the last class, we have seen what are the steps involved for the writing of the equations or circuit equations using nodal analysis. Then what we have done, we have taken one example which will be resistive, which consists of resistive elements with current independent sources, and we have follow all the steps, and we came to the conclusion that if the circuit consists of independent current sources or independent sources, and if they are the resistive, for example, so whatever the formulation I will do that in terms of linear algebra form, I will get it one admittance matrix, and in that admittance matrix the diagonal elements will be, I'll get it one pattern, and that diagonal elements will be the addition of all the conductances which are connected to that node, right? And off diagonal elements will be all the common conductances connected between the nodes followed by negative sign, right? And that multiplied with the unknown vector, that is the node voltages v1, v2, v3, etc., which will be equal to all the sources onto the right hand side. Again, for directly or from observation also we can directly write the elements on the right hand side vector, that if the current is coming to that particular node, you take it as a positive of that current value, and if it is leaving from that node, you write as a negative of that value on the right hand side of the formulated linear algebra form, right? Now next what we'll do, we will again take it one resistive element example with independent sources, and from observations let me write it directly, and after that we will take it one dependent source with the resistive elements as we will observe in circuit, and we'll try to write it, and again we will try to confirm that the admittance matrix will be symmetric only when the network consists of independent sources, right? Okay, once we will be convenient with that, what we'll do then, while the solution during the solution of this linear formulation, what we came across, that is we have to find out the inverse of the admittance matrix, and while computing the inverse of the admittance matrix, what will we come to know, that we have to find out the adjoint of the conductance matrix divided by determinant matrix. So there will be the existence of solution only when my determinant will not be equal to 0, right? So what is determinant, what is the significance, or what is the role of determinants in the analysis, that we will see, and then if the determinant is equal to 0, what is its interpretation in circuit perspective, that we will be going to study in this particular class. Okay, so with this, let us start with one example. Suppose I have the network like this. Okay, there will be one resistor here, one resistor here, one resistor here, okay, one resistor here, then one resistor to be included in this branch. Okay, now let me label, or let me first insert the current sources. Suppose one current source is connected here, fine, like this. Second current source is connected in this, and say this arrow. One more current source is connected here, okay, with this arrow, let's say, and if I want, or I can connect also, what is the matter. Okay, suppose one more current source connected here. Fine, and that, let's say the direction is this. Now I will name it, say this is my R1, R2, say this is R3, R4, R5, fine, no R6 here. No, this is my I1 value, this is I2, I3, and this will be I4. Okay. So what is the procedure? Let me write the equation using nodal analysis. So what is the procedure? First select the reference node. So obviously this aesthetically this is good to select, right? No, aesthetically okay, but number of elements are connected to this node. So better to select this in order to avoid complications, right? Then select the node voltages. This is one node V1, let's say. This is second node, name it V2. This is third node, name it V3. Then assume the direction, say this is I1, say I2, it is already given. I2 is coming here, so suppose this is my I3, say this is I4, I4 is going here, and say leaving, right? So this will be my I5. This is coming, this coming. Okay. So next node voltages you have identified. Now next write the KCL at each node, right? So what is the KCL at node 1? It will be minus I1. Coming is preceded by negative sign, leaving is positive, right? I1 plus I2 plus I4, that is equal to 0. This is KCL for equation 1. Then what will be for node 2? Minus I2 plus I3 plus I4, leaving it is, so plus I2, that is equal to 0. Then what about this? This will be incoming, so minus I4 minus small I4 plus I5 and minus I3 equal to 0. So these are the KCL set 3 equation, but it's of no use. I already know what will be the most likely the pattern of it, right? So let me directly write the conductance matrix from it, from the observations. Okay, and let me say whether really it is symmetric or not. That actually I want to prove it, right? So suppose this is my matrix. Okay, so what is the first element in the diagonal? In the first node, what are the resistances connected? R2 and R1. So what will be the conductance? G1 plus G2. Finish. Okay, 2 and 3, let me write directly after that. Then for node 2, what are the conductances? R2, R3, R4. So I will write G2 plus G3 plus G4, right? For node 3, what it will be? R4, R5. So it will be G4 plus G5. Okay. Then what will be the common conductance between node 1 to 2? Yeah, these are the first row, second row, third row, first row column, second column, third row. It means these are nothing but the node names, node voltage names, numerical values, right? So let me write what is the common conductance connected between node 1 with node 2. It is node 1 with node 2, it is minus G2, and same will be for node 2 to node 1 also. Now what is the common conductance connected between node 1 to 3? Nothing is there, so it will be 0. And similarly, there is no conductance connected between 3 to 1. So this also 3 to 1, I will put it 0. Now what I have to do off diagonal is the conductance which is connected between node 2 to 3. So node 2 to 3, between node 2 to 3, what is it? G4 is connecting, right? So what I will do, minus G4, and again from 3 to 4, sorry, 3 to 2, it is minus G4. Finish, right? And this multiplied with the unknown node voltages, which is V1, V2 and V3, right? And this will be equal to what will be on to the right hand side, all the current sources. So for node 1, I1 is coming and I4 is going, right? So what will say for incoming, it is plus and outgoing minus. So it will be I1 minus I4, no? Yeah, it will be I1 minus I4. Incoming is positive, leaving is negative on the right hand side. Okay. For V2, it is leaving. So it will be minus I2. And for V3, it is coming. And this also. So it will be I3 is incoming and as well I4 also incoming. Okay. So this is the case. Immediately by inspection, we have written. Now we can say that this matrix is symmetric matrix, right? It is because again it doesn't consist of the dependent sources, hence it is the thing, right? So this is we proved. Now next we will take it one more example with the dependent sources, and let me see. And once I know all the values of G1, G2, G3, I will get it all the node voltages, right? by doing some Cramer's rule or the solution for the linear algebra problem. Okay, right? With this, there is no issue with it. The next, what I will do, I will take it one more example, which will consist of the dependent sources. Okay, so suppose this is my network, consists of R1, then this is one resistor, this is another resistor, right? And there will be the dependent source, there will be the current source present over here, and all are connected like this. Okay, so I'll name it. So this is my R1, R2, R3, one more branch there and connected with some R4. Okay, say this is my I1, this is, say something, let's say this is my I2, so let me write this is GNI2. Okay, this is the current control current source, right? As the current symbol is like this. Okay, now what next? First, use the same fundamental rule for the nodal analysis. So what is it? Let me select the reference node. Suppose this is the reference node I selected. Let me name the node voltages. So this is my one node, this is my second node, and let's say this is my third node, right? Now let me write the simple equations for it. So what is for node 1? It will be minus I1, let me write directly now, okay, plus V1 into addition of all the conductances connected to node 1, so which are G1 plus G4, okay. Then next is minus V1 0, okay, V1 0, V2 0, all are this, let me write 0 also. Then minus V2 with respect to 0, so it is what way can be written, common is G1 into V2 0 or V2 minus, is there again common between 1 to 3, yeah, G4, so this will be minus G4 V3 0, which is equal to 0. This is equation 1, correct? Now let me write for equation, let me write the equation for node V2. So here what it will be, say suppose I2, this is my one current, say anything you give it name, I3, say I4, and suppose this is I5, doesn't matter. Okay, for node 2, what it will be, all the common conductances connected with it, that will be for V2. So what are it, G1 plus G2 plus G3, right? What will be for V1, it will be my plus and minus G1 V1 0 or V1. Okay, what next now, minus G1 V1, and then 2 2 3, is there any common conductance? Yes, it is R3, so it will be G3 V3 equal to 0. Okay, fine. Now let us come to the node 3. So what it will be for node 3, here I will write. So node 3 will be, first let me write for V3. So what will be for V3, all the conductances connected to V3 node or V3 0, that is what is it, R3. So this will be G3 plus G4, that's it I think, yeah, okay. Then minus yeah, over, and then 3 to 2 and 3 to 1, that is, it is plus minus minus G4 V1, right, minus G4 V1, and it is again 2 2 3, there is a thing, so minus G3 V2, and one more current is leaving, so it is plus Gn I2, which is equal to 0. Now what I would like to express everything in terms of V1 V2. So I2 is this is not the current coming from current source, so I2 will, how can we write, it will be the potential difference between V1 with V2. So I2 will be what, it will be V1 minus V2 upon R1, right, which will be equal to G1 V1 minus V2, right? So I'll substitute this in this equation. So what will be, minus G4 V1 plus G3 plus G4 V3 minus G3 V2 plus Gn into G1 V1 minus V2 is equal to 0. So in a systematic way, what it will be? Minus G4 V1, let me write in it. V3 is there, no. So G3 plus G4 V3, V2 is there, yeah. So this will be minus G3 V2 plus Gn G1 V1 minus Gn G1 V2 is equal to 0. So you take it V1 as common. So what will be V1? It will be Gn G1 minus G4 V1. What will be for G2? It will be G3 plus Gn G1, right? This will be V2 plus G3 plus G4 V3 is equal to 0. So I got it in terms of V1 0, V2 0, V3 0. And what about this? This will be V1 G1 plus G4 minus G1 V2 minus G4 V3 will be equal to I1. Similarly, this is minus G1 V1 plus G1 plus G2 plus G3 V2 minus G3 V3, which is equal to nothing, no source, so this must be equal to 0, right? So what will be in matrix formulation? Its matrix formulation, let us say that one is G1 plus G4, second is G1 plus G2 plus G3. First let us write diagonal elements, and then for V3, what is it? G3 plus G4. Okay, and then write all the elements 1, 2, 3 between 1, between node, between 3. So between node 1 to 2, what is it? Minus G1, 2 to 1 is also minus G1, between 1 to 3 it is minus G4, between 3 to 1 minus G3, no? Okay, so this is minus G3, right? And what will be for 3 to 1? It is G and G1 minus G4. This is minus G3 plus Gn plus G1, and this is that. Okay, so look, yeah, and this will be equal to V1 0, V2 0, V3 0 with respect to reference, and this will be equal to I1 0 0, right? So what can we say from it? As already we have concluded that if the network is resistive and if it consists of only independent sources, then resultant admittance matrix, whatever I will get, that will be the symmetric matrix. But if the network consists of dependent sources, then what will be my resultant matrix? Resultant matrix will not be symmetric matrix. That has been proved with this example. Okay, now we are very much matured with the nodal analysis. That is, if I look at the circuit, and if the network consists of the resistors with dependent or independent sources, with the observation I can directly write the equations. Now the next question is, once I will get the formulation, that is formulation means once I will get the what we can say, the linear algebra formulation, next we have to solve that. So in order to solve that, we have to compute the inverse of admittance matrix, and in order to compute the inverse of admittance matrix, what basically we need to find out the determinant, and if determinant is equal to 0, then there is no solution. If it is not equal to 0, there is a solution, as we know it. So now we will see what determinant means, or what is the role of determinant. So with some example. Okay, so what is the role of determinant? Say for example, can we start, say I have the input source like this, say this is my two-dimensional vector or input signal. Something like this. Okay. Say some y, say some x, and I have the point 0 comma 0. This is 1 comma 0. Let's say this is 0 comma 2, and this is 1 comma 2, right? Now onto this input signal, if I will apply some matrix, say A, B, C, D, so what will happen? Means what I am projecting my input over this matrix. So this is basically called as a linear transformation matrix. Okay, that basically the matrix is present, right? So here also in this we see that admittance matrix applied on unknown vector, I'll get it this, right? Means what? Unknown vector I am calculating with, so I am projecting y onto u. Okay, so that I will be able to know what are my voltage values. Okay, so similarly here also, so input signal, suppose it is like this. So what I'll do, I'll apply some transformation matrix onto it. Now let me see what will be its mapping. So this with this we will try to at least understand what determinant means. So suppose my linear determinant matrix is say, instead of ABCD, now I'll put it any number. So say 3 0 and 0 1. So now I'll apply this onto my input signal. So 3 0 forget. So suppose if it is the case 3 0 0 1, this I'll apply on my vector 0 0. So what is its transformation? Again the output transformation remains same, that is 0 0. Okay, next I have same 3 0 0 1. If I will map onto this point 1 0, what will be the mapping? That is this applied on this particular vector. So what is it? It will be 3 1 0 will be what? 3 comma 0, right? Now similarly this point 3 0 0 1, if I will apply on this vector, that is 0 comma 2, what will be its mapping? It will be 3 0, so it is 0 basically, and this is my 2, and one last is 3 0 0 1. If I will apply on where water point remains 1 and 2, what will be the resultant? That is 3 and this is 2, right? Okay, now with this let us plot it onto this graph, since y and x. So first point is 0 0, right? Second point is 3 0, so 3 0 means this is 3 comma 0. Next is 0 comma 2, so somewhere here say 0 comma 2, and next is 3 comma 2. So what is that point? This point. So I will join all the points. So what will I get? I will get it some shape, right? Means what I have done, how can I interpret? If I'll apply this linear transformation on this input signal, the resultant map or resultant transformation signal is the resultant transformed signal looks like it. Okay, now what I will do, I will, in order to understand the determinant, what I'll try to find out what is the area of it. So what is the area? 3 into it to 6. Okay, and what is the area of input? It is 2, right? So if I will find out the ratio of area of output waveform to the ratio of ratio of output waveform, but it will be, if I'll try to find out the ratio of the area of output signal to the input signal, how much it is, it will be giving me 3. And let me find out the determinant also. So what is the determinant of that? It is 3. Got it, the answer. So what determinant says, then we can also define it is the ratio of area of resultant mapped signal or resultant signal divided by the area of input signal. Means determinant is giving me the amount by which the area of my input waveform will be going to change. That's it. This is the role of significance. This is the significance of determinant. Okay. Now let us take it two more examples. This is very interesting, right? Okay. So suppose I have, let's see, I have the same pulse whose area is say 0, 0 is point, this is 1 comma 0, this is 0 comma 2, and this is say what it will be 1 comma 2. And onto this, if I'll apply the transformation matrix, that is 3 1 1 and 2, I would like to find out what is the resultant of it. Okay. So this basically I would like to find it out. So let us do the operation on it. So what is my first point? So suppose my this thing is 3 1 1 2. This I will map on 0 0. So what is the result? Result will be same 0 0. Okay. Now if this 3 1, if I will map on the point 1 0, what is the result? It is 1 0. What is the result? 3 and 1. Okay. Now next, if I will map 3 1 1 2 on what is it, 0 and 2, what is the resultant mapped vector? It is 2 and 4, right? And if I will map 3 1 1 2 and say the point is 1 2, it will be 3 plus 2 5, and this is 1 plus 4, it is 5. Okay. This is why we are taking this example, as we have already defined that the determinant is the ratio of the area of output waveform to the input waveform, or area of output signal to the input signal. So this I would like to prove by taking general NA matrix like this, right? And let me take it this as a unit, not unit code, but pulse with the area 2. Okay. So let us see whatever we said, it is really done or not. So suppose this is the thing, and how many points I need? 5 points, right? So suppose this is 1 2 3 4 5. So here also 1 2 3 4 and 5. Now I will draw some sort of grid type. Okay. This is that. Then I'll draw with next color. 2 3 4. Just assume it is straight. Okay. So let us map the points. First point is 0 0. So here first point. Second point is 3 comma 1. So second point is here. Third point is 2 comma 4. 2 comma 4 means here. Okay. And fifth point is 5 comma 5 means here. Now what I will do, I will join it. This, then this, then this. Now I would like to find out what is, say this is my straight line. Okay. some working this. Okay, so now what I have to do, I have to find out the area of this. So what is my area? A1. Okay, so what is my area? Okay, let us find it out. So there are different ways, but as our standard, school level method is that we can find out. So what will be the area under this curve, under this shape? So let us find it out. So what is it? It will be overall grid minus this resultant, right? So overall is 25. Okay, this is minus 1, 2. Okay, then this is triangle, this also looks triangle, then 3 and 4, right? So this is minus 4. Let me find out what is the area of this triangle. It will be 1, 2, 3. So minus half into 3 into 1, so it will be 3 by 2. What is the area of this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, so it will be minus 1 by 2 into 2 into 4. Same, what is the area? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, so it is minus 1 time into 2 into 4. And what is the area for this? 1, 2, 3 and 1, so it is same, minus 1 by 2 into 3. Okay, so this will be 2, 2, so it is 25 minus 4 minus 2 times 3 by 2, so it will be minus 3. Okay, and this will be minus 4 and this is minus 4, right? So this is 8, 12 and this 15. So 25 minus 15, it will be 10. So the area of this shape is 10, right? Okay. So what we told, in order to find out the determinant for this matrix, it is the ratio of the area of resultant mapped signal divided by the input, which is 2. So how much will be total? 5. So we have to get it. The determinant is equal to 5 for this matrix. So what is the determinant? 3, 1, 1, 2, which is 6 minus 1, 5. Yeah, so proved, right? So determinant, in short, I'll repeat you, it is the ratio of the area of output by input, or this much amount the information has been changed. Okay. Now again, let us take it one more example with whose determinant is 0, and let us see what will happen. Okay, so suppose the same pulse I will take, same pulse I will take, then this is y x and this is 0, 1, and suppose this is 2, so it is 1 comma 0, this is 1 comma 2, and this is 0 comma 2. Okay, then if I will do the linear transformation using 4, 2 and 2, 1, so this will be what? So again, let us apply the transformation onto this 2D signal. So first is 4, 2, 2, 1, mapped it onto 0, comma 0. What is the result? Result is 0, comma 0, right? Then apply the transformation 4, 2, 2, 1 on to 0, 0, 2, let us write this. So what is the result? 4 and 2, 4, 2 and 2, 4, 2. Okay, let us apply again this transformation 4, 2, 2, 1 on to where 1, 0. What will I get? Again it is 4 and 2, same. Then again 4, 2, 2, 1. If I'll apply on 1 and 2, what will I get? It will be 4 plus 4, that is 8. and 2 plus it is 2, it is 4, right? 8, oh my god, it is very high value. Anyway, we'll see that. Let's see. Now let us plot the mapped resultant dimension, what it is. So on x-axis is say y and x. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3 and 4, right? Okay, so this is my grid. So first point is 0, 0, okay. Second point is 4 and 2. This is my second point. Third point is again same, 4, 2, and fourth point is 8, 4. So join the line, this and this. Okay, this is the resultant of the transformation using this matrix on this input vector, okay, or input signal. So what is the area of it? 0, right? And what is the area of this? 2. So if I take the ratio of output divided by input, that is 0 itself. And what is the determinant if actually I'll find? 4 minus 4, that is 0. Yes. So what is this? What sort of information it is giving if I'll apply this transformation onto this? What it is doing? This transformation, what it is shrinking, right? So what it is losing the information, right? So such kind of transformation is of no use for me because it has been lost the information, and if I would like to retrieve it, it is very difficult for me to retrieve it, correct? So determinant, if determinant is equal to 0, its area is 0 means it will not give any information, right? In the sense, what is it? Revert means what? Say determinant is not determinant. Suppose your admittance matrix into your input vector, which is equal to y, right? So what it will be? Unknown vector you can calculate as y inverse into I, right? Now if I would like to know what is I, so that also can be written, that is y into v is equal to y, right? This is revert way, I'll get it the original signal, okay? So if I'll apply the matrix whose determinant is 0, I'll get it this, but from this if I'll apply here, I will never get this, but for others it is definitely true, okay? Inverse of it, right? No? Understood. So if determinant is 0, it is very dangerous for us in order to find out the solution, okay? So we stop here. Next class we will see if the determinant is 0, how the circuit looks or what is its interpretation in circuit perspective, and again we will see 1 or 2 examples where the sources consist of resistive elements with the voltage sources. As well we will see how to write the equation when there will be only one voltage source with 2 nodes. Okay, till now we stop here. Thank you.